Good morning, everybody. We're back at the house in that I described as the House of Nova. For those of you who can see now and were unaware, the house burned down. I actually wanted to shoot this on location, so here we are. It's Saturday morning, and can't really pinpoint the date of the house. I said it was Victorian, and I was incorrect. I think a lot of people thought it was Victorian. It's not. It's of a Spanish style, which was popular during the 1870s. So, based on the style of the house and the history behind the house, it was probably built around the 1870s. Somewhere in that time, 1870 to 1880, it was a very, very popular style around that time. So now we kind of have a roundabout date of the house and the actual style of the house, and I'll know what to look for on my, any other houses in the future as far as what's Victorian and what's Spanish, and it will help me and you guys to help date some of these houses in the future. There is a lot of history behind this house. I have a huge article on this. I'm not going to read the whole article, but the house is referred to as the Beach House here in Ruggles Township. And that is because of the Beach family's history here. And this house was constructed by the Beach family. They've been around here for a very long time as far as the history of the Beach family. And they were the original settlers of this area. Daniel Beach became the first settler and is what is now known as Ruggles Township in 1823. Now, Daniel Beach, I don't believe, is the one who built this house. I believe it was his son or his grandson that built this house back in the 1870s. I actually believe it was his grandson as I read down through this article and stuff. I've read through it twice, but it's just so much information they give you. The reason that the property was given to it was given to Daniel Beach, and he was living in Connecticut, and I don't know about this big fire they must have had in Connecticut, but I guess it burned out a lot of houses. And this is the property around here was property that was given to residents in Connecticut that were burned out of their houses as, I guess, a way of repaying them in a way to, I don't really understand it. I guess I'd have to look into that fire and more about that particular instance. But he did move up here and settled on 100 acres. This house has changed hands a few times. There was a story and there's a book by a photographer named Seth Lawless. If you guys want to look that up, he actually published a book of his photograph. He's a photographer of his photography, titled 13, An American Horror Story. Now, the book contains photographs of this house and many other creepy type of houses or old, scary looking houses. And he sounds like he made up a story of murder and stuff of a man who murdered his wife and child in his house, but there is no record that can be found of such a story, and no history on the man that he said committed the murders ever living here or anything. So sounds like something that was conjured up to be able to sell his book. But if you guys want to look that guy up and maybe even purchase that book that has this house in it, his name is Seth Lawless. I'm sure if you Google that will pop right up. And I believe the only place you can buy this, it's like a coffee table book. I believe the only place you can buy it is from his website, and I heard it's quite pricey. But yeah, the Beaches owned this for quite some time, I think up till around 1854, and then it was sold to another man named Elmo. It originally came with 100 acres. They sold off 90 acres and kept 10. Then it changed hands again and again, and I've actually had a few comments from people from the area here who have seen the video. One lady said she had grew up in the area and knew the family lived here and said they were really weird. Had like 9, 10 kids. Just always kept to themselves. Never really talked to anybody. I think though that was probably the last family that lived in the house. And then another woman commented, had left me a comment on about the lady she knew had, I guess, had bought this in 2000, and with the intent of fixing it up and restoring it. And unfortunately, if you look back in the video, you can tell the shingles around the top were newer. You can tell the siding on the one side, and there was even some newer electrical kind of ran through the house. Well, what happened was the contractor she hired had put the new roof on, and shortly after, a huge storm came through and ripped off the center part of the roof, which is why we saw the opening in the roof, and the elements were allowed to get in. But at that point, it kind of, she was broke, you know, as far as being able to put money back into the house and put another roof on it. She just didn't have the money. So at that time, she just kind of walked away from it. Now, I don't know if currently that woman still is the same woman that owns this house or not. But the sad story is that that contractor that she hired, after she decided she could no longer continue with this project, came in, and he's the one who took the stair railing. And when I mean took, he stole them. He stole the stair railing, and he stole all the mortise and tenon joints, probably some other things out of here, and really hurt the value of the house as far as being able to resell it to somebody else to come in and maybe want to restore it. So at that point, the house was just left with the open roof and some of the key missing parts inside the house that, you know, you would love to see stay with the house. Now, as far as if she still owns it, I don't know, and it's kind of a sad story. But if you guys want to look up and read the entire history of the family, starting from 1823 of Daniel Beach down through his son and his grandson and their children and their relationship to this house, all you have to do is Google the Beach House in Ruggles. And this guy that wrote this article has done a fantastic job in the research. I don't want to take any credit for any of that for what I'm telling you guys. This all comes from this journalist who did a full research. I think he's local up in the Ashland area, and it's a fascinating read, and it really gives you some insight to you know, probably the first family in the area, according to this, to settle this area. And just, you know, I just wanted to come here and talk to you guys about this right on location at the house and let you guys see. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up, and I'll throw in a bunch of pictures here after the video's over. So thank you for joining me today, guys, and I will see you next time.